hearty and warm welcome to all the wonderful audience and our speaker for the day, Ms. Madhavi. I'm Ruchira Banka. I'm an educator for 2 decades and the co-founder at Art Journal Foundation. Thank you for joining us, our webinar for the day. We founded this organization with fellow educators like you all to support each other through the process of promoting arts as a subject. We all understand that collaboration is the key to successful classrooms, and it's integral that we carry a collaborative mindset, which calls for understanding the curriculum requirements and the perspective of individuals with whom we are collaborating. And hence comes the importance of today's webinar, which shall let us understand the role of an arts teacher from the perspective of a homeroom teacher. Our expert shall also bring in her experience to discuss the integration of art with other disciplines. And I shall not take too much time before I hand over to Ms. Madhavi Sharma and give a quick introduction about her. Ms. Madhavi is a PYP homeroom teacher and a team leader at Candor International School in Bangalore, India. She has over 13 years of teaching experience spanning from early years to engineering students, including 9 years of extensive experience with the IB curriculum. She's played a significant role in curriculum development and has had leadership positions in various international schools. As a dynamic educator, she promotes holistic development and inquiry-based learning, creating an inspiring and engaging classroom environment. I'm glad that she agreed to be a part of our webinar today. And I really hope that this webinar serves useful to you in your teaching and collaborative practices. If so, we are looking forward to hear your reviews about Art Journal Foundation, which shall help us grow to and organize many more such sessions. The review link is in the chat box. And meanwhile, you fill the reviews, I hand over the stage to Ms. Madhavi.
Thanks a lot, Ruchira, for such a warm welcome. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you all today. I'm delighted to be here and grateful for the opportunity to speak to such distinguished audience. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Art Journal Foundation for providing me with the opportunity to share my thoughts on integrating arts in primary year classroom. So I would like to introduce myself again. I'm Madhavi Sharma, an enthusiastic educator, a lifelong learner, an art lover, IB practitioner, a writer, and a reader. So in today's session, we are going to focus on the two major objectives. The first one is we are going to understand the role of an art teacher in collaborative planning. And later we are going to explore strategies for integrating art with other disciplines. So as it is going to be a collaborative session, I would love to understand your experiences, to know your ideas. So please feel free to share your ideas or experiences in the chat box. You can also, if you're comfortable, you can also talk about your experiences. Just raise your hands and we will call out your names. So let's start. Let's start with what is art in primary year classroom. Anyone would like to share their thought about what is art in a primary year classroom? You can write it in the chat box. Ms. Ruchira can help us by reading your writings. And if you want, you can also unmute your microphone and speak. So art means music, painting, creativity, imagination. Excellent. Nice. So indeed, art means creativity, expressions, imagination. And where does it comes from? So if we have to understand what is art in primary level year classroom, we can, at the surface level, we can say that art is a combination of visual arts and performing arts, where your drawing, coloring, painting, sculpture, craft can come under visual arts, and dance, drama, music can be considered under the performing arts. But if you want to go into the deeper level of what is art in a classroom, I would like to explain it in the way of a mode of communication, an opportunity to experience different perspectives, articulation of thoughts in new ways, and a medium of inquiry. So art can be a powerful mode of communication. It It helps students to express themselves, their ideas, their narratives, their experiences in various creative ways, especially when it is difficult for some students to express through words. We can also call art as a universal language which overcomes all the barriers of cultures and linguistic barriers, we can say. Art also gives an opportunity to students to experience different perspectives. They understand that different people have different views, and it is fine. They can express themselves in the views they have, in the ways they think. Art also articulate the thought in new ways. It encourages students to come out of that box, think out of that box, come up with innovative thoughts, and be critical thinkers. Art also works as a medium of inquiry. It's a very strong medium of inquiry because art is a medium which encourages students, which helps students to stir that curiosity. It helps students to investigate, to experiment, and to reflect on that artistic process. I hope you all you all will agree with me on this. Now, after knowing what is art in a classroom, let's see what are the benefits of art integration. Why should we integrate art in a classroom, right? Because regular subjects are going on very well. So what is the need of integrating arts? The need of integrating arts is to enhance learning experience. When we integrate art in a regular classroom, uh, it helps students to understand and to understand and to gather the concepts in a very encouraging way where students understand that they use different modes, they use different creativity. It helps students to convey their ideas, emotions in by critically thinking it and creatively explaining it. uh, Art also helps students to scaffold the information. If some information is given through the medium of art, student can scaffold it and apply it in a with a better clarity. uh, Improved creativity. Definitely, when art is integrated with subject, students come up with creative solutions. They think of the problem through different various ways, and they try to come up with some innovative solutions, some creative solutions. So it helps them to enhance their creativity. When we talk about integrating art activities, it fosters self-expressions, collaboration, and emotional intelligence. So, and it also helps students to develop the attribute of being an open-minded person, being a caring person, showing empathy towards others, being respectful, appreciating others' effort. So, what happens is students develop their social and emotional skills, which helps them which helps for their growth. And increased motivation. Definitely using art in a classroom is a fun, engaging activity, right? So when you engage art, when you use art, students are engaged, they are having fun. So art works as a stimulator for students to think at a higher level. So we can say that all these four, I have only taken the four, there can be many more benefits of arts. So these are the four which I felt I should share with you. So yes, anyone would like to add any other benefits of arts from their side? Anyone wants to share or write any other benefit which I have missed on? Okay, so let's move to our next topic, which is collaboration. Now, I would request you to give me one word which comes to your mind when you hear this term collaboration. You can write it in the chat box or you can share it with us. Collaboration. It's a very general term. Every day we hear it in a school setting. Do we have anyone who would like to share about collaboration? Yes, collaboration is sharing different perspectives coming together. Perfect. It is teamwork indeed. It is the entire team coming together for achieving a common goal. Yes. Yes, teamwork. Ideas, definitely. Enhancement of ideas, definitely. You have ideas, but sometimes we improvise on those ideas, right? So that also happens in collaboration. Trusting one another, very important point. We should trust. When it is a collaborative process, we should definitely trust each other. Thank you all for sharing. So, while starting with the top discussion on collaboration, I would like to use the grow and glow strategy here. So generally in the grow and glow, we share our glows first and then we decide what are the areas we want to grow. However, I would like to use it in a reverse way today. I would first like to discuss the grow, the challenges which we face in collaboration, because I believe once we know the grows or the areas of improvement, we can find out the strategies to work upon them and then we can grow together. So let's start with our growing element, that is the challenges which we face during collaboration. So here are 4 challenges I have mentioned. If you have anything else, please put it in the chat box. Time constraint. So I hope all of you will agree with me on this, because as a primary teacher, all of our hands, whether it is a specialist or a homeroom teacher, all of our hands are full with a lot of things, right? We have a lot of things, curriculum things, we have other things. So we are always busy. So finding a time for collaboration sometimes become challenging because everyone has different schedule, everyone has different timetables. They have lots of different classes, right? So time is something which the first thing is to meet. And the second thing, sometimes what happens is when we meet for the collaboration, getting productive output from that time also becomes challenging. So we met, however, the output, the productivity which we wanted from that becomes challenging to get from that time frame. The second challenge is creating genuine and purposeful connection. In primary year classroom, when we talk about interdisciplinary learning or we talk about transdisciplinary learning, we focus on creating genuine and purposeful connection. The learning should be meaningful. Now, how to make that learning meaningful? Now, how to connect two different disciplines or subjects together? That becomes challenging sometimes. Then aligning the curriculum, aligning the specialist curriculum, especially art curriculum. What are the ways we can align the curriculum with the other subjects? There are sometimes we face the challenging in finding the authentic integration, how to integrate authentically. How can I align my art curriculum with other subjects? And the fourth is the communication barrier. Communication is, it looks small, but it can create a big impact in the collaboration. A small misunderstanding can hinder the entire collaboration process. So communication barriers are also very wide, plays a vital role in challenges as collaboration. So now we know the challenges. If there will be many more challenges, as I told, please feel free to share it with us. And now we know the challenges. So how can we overcome these challenges? Do we have any strategies to overcome these challenges? I have shared a few here with all of you, which I would like to explain. The first strategy for effective collaboration can be regularly planned meetings. So we should always ensure that whatever meetings we are planning should be planned on a regular basis. The second thing is all these meetings should have agenda. The third thing, the plan and the agenda should be shared with all the teachers. So whoever is coming for the collaborative meeting is aware of the plan of the agenda of the meeting. And it is everyone, whoever is coming for the collaboration, should make sure that they have their strategies or their plans or their sharing ready with them when they come for the collaborative meeting. The second is the use of collaborative tools. We are living in a technological world, right? So we have lots of tools. We can use Google Drive, MS Teams to collaborate among each other, share the planners with each other, share the lesson plans with each other, use these collaborative tools to work together to find out to work on the planner or to plan the lessons. Encourage and acknowledge each other's expertise. All of us are experts of one or the other subject. It is always a good practice to encourage the expertise of each other. It is always good to appreciate the expertise of each other. And in the collaborative planning, you can also use these expertise to plan the lesson together. You can plan for co-teaching. Now, what you can do is there are 2 to 3 teachers can come together to and plan a lesson to achieve the common goal, or to achieve the one objective which can cover all the 2 to 3 disciplines. You can also use guest lectures. So whatever subject expert you are, you can volunteer yourselves to give the guest lecture on that particular topic. Because in a school setting we have few people who are good photographers, they can definitely come to the class and give a session on photography. Few people, they are very good with knitting or crafts. So use those skills, use those expertise among each other, and utilize these skills to help your students to grow together. The next one is reflective practices. Maintain a habit of reflective practices, of reflecting on your meetings, whatever collaborative meetings you have. Ensure that you are reflecting on that. Share your reflections. Discuss what went on well, what has to be improved, what has to be done to improve those things. Then also you can use the feedback loop in the collaborative meetings. In the feedback loop, you can provide every collaborative meeting, every participant can provide their inputs, and also they can give some suggestions where they want to, they can give the suggestions where which they want to implement in the next classes. So this way, feedback and reflection can help to progress in the collaboration. And as we discussed communication, please maintain open and honest communication. Use the communication channels, emails, phone calls, messages, meet each other, during break times and all, and communicate, share. If there is anything, just discuss whatever you think of. So maintain open communication channels and mutual support. So mutual support is something I personally feel is very important in a school setting, because you cannot get ideas all the time, or you cannot be perfect all the time. So even sometimes I run to my colleagues, just asking them, guys, I don't know what to do. Guys, am I doing this correct or not? Guys, can we do it this way? So what happens is, when you have that support system for you, you get a lot of ideas, you get a lot of like support from your peers. What can be done, how can be done, how together we can achieve this. And also, you as a person, make sure that you're providing that environment around you where people can approach you. So be approachable, be supportive, and maintain the support and communication among each other. Sharing resources and ideas. We can also create resource bank where we can share resources. So there are everyone, as we discussed, that they are experts in their subject. So suppose if I am a math teacher, but I found out something very interesting about dance, I should definitely share it with the dance teacher, or I should put the resource in the resource bank where others can access the resource bank. They can also go through it, they can also get an idea. So imagine if the school community or the grade level community maintains a resource bank, it will be so easy for everyone to access it and to apply it. So these are a few strategies which we can use to make the collaboration effective. Now, what is the role of an art teacher in collaboration? So we have discussed the strategies, we have seen the challenges of collaboration. Now, how as an art teacher, what you should do if I'm a specialist teacher, or if I'm an art teacher, how can I contribute into the collaboration process? So generally, what practice I have seen many times is, the specialist teachers will be ready with their planners, they will be ready with their plan. The homeroom teachers will be ready with their plan. So they will just meet, they will just share their ideas, they will share their plan, and then they discuss. However, we should always consider the specialist teachers also as the primary teachers, where they are sitting together with the homeroom teacher and co-developing the curriculum. So when you sit for co-developing the curriculum, every teacher takes the responsibility of creating the curriculum. So what happens is, in this process, the specialist teachers can also provide their expertise. So being an art specialist, if I'm an art specialist and I'm sitting with a homeroom teacher for co-developing the curriculum, I can definitely suggest some ideas from my expertise which can be integrated authentically with the other disciplines like math, English, science, social science. And also, as an art teacher, you're the master, right? So you know what techniques can be used, what expertise can be used, which technique can go very well with what grade level. So in the collaborative planning, you can also mention the techniques, level-wise techniques, which can go best with a particular grade level. So sharing these techniques, sharing these expertise, sitting together and co-developing curriculum and coordinating resources. Again, if you know some resources which the homeroom teacher can also use in their classroom, please share it with them. If the homeroom teacher is sharing something with you that we are planning to do this, please share the resources, what can be best for them. If you have any reading material, you have any engagement which can help students to achieve that goal, please share those resources. Please coordinate in getting, collecting, and sharing those resources with the homeroom teacher. So this, by playing this role in the collaboration process, the art teacher can equally contribute to the learning development of the student. So anyone would like to share anything till now what we have discussed? Or anyone wants to add any of the collaborative method or something which an art teacher can contribute? Yes, Miss Claudia has said that in foreign languages, the connection sometimes is not easy for with the main idea. Excellent. So sometimes it becomes very difficult to integrate foreign languages with the regular plan of, the regular inquiry, which is happening in the class. So let's see. We have the next slide coming for the integration. So let's
Yeah,
see.
but I think I have to actually complement this idea of co-developing the curriculum, which is somewhere missing in the education system, where the art teachers would want to come and integrate than co-developing curriculum. A wonderful idea that you brought in.
Yes, Ms. Rujita, because even I have been reading, and this is the term which was coming across again and again, that all teachers should be the part of the developing, because when you co-develop the curriculum, you take the ownership of that curriculum, right? So you feel
Absolutely.
responsible equally for the holistic development of the student. So, and when we co-develop curriculum, everyone is aware of what is happening in which grade. So everyone is aware of the curriculum of the grade level, because especially specialist teachers are the one who takes from earlier till sometimes they take higher grades also. So primary, earlier, it becomes very difficult, but when they sit in the process of co-developing curriculum, they get the thorough understanding of what is happening in which class.
Absolutely.
Yes. So let's move to the next slide. Art integration with other disciplines. So when it comes, when we say that art integration, the basic question comes to all of our minds is how to integrate, what to integrate. Is it an authentic integration or not? Am I forcing the integration or what? So these are the very basic and very important questions which comes to our mind when we integrate subjects, right? So let's see how we can integrate arts with other subjects like language arts, math, science, and social studies. So while reading for this, while reading about this integrations and all, I came across the readings of the reading by Andy Vasili. He is a PE coordinator and a blogger. So he has summarized the levels of integration. So he has summarized the level of integration in 3 levels. So these are the 3 levels. We can summarize integration as level 3, level 2, and level 1. So according to him, the level 3 is considered as the full integration, where the single subject unit and the unit of inquiry in the classroom go hand in hand. So the central idea, the conceptual lenses, the learner profiles, or the ATL skills, you can integrate the subject, both the subjects, in many areas. When it comes to level 2, we step down a bit because the central idea probably doesn't fit with both the single subjects unit. However, some common links can be found through the conceptual lens. And for level 1, there are very rare opportunities So the integration happens through the learner profile attribute or the approaches of learning skills. So these are the three levels he has explained. And this is the screenshot of the reading. I will give you a minute to read it. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. So I hope you have got some clarity of, how integration, how subjects can be integrated with other subjects. Now let's see integrating language arts. How to integrate arts in a language classroom. There's a quote by Igor Babila. Art is an international language understood by all. I personally feel that language and art goes hand in hand because in language we focus upon the strands like listening, speaking, presenting, reading, writing. So when we talk about all those strands, and if you see especially performing arts, if you see dance, if you see drama, these are the listening, being a good audience and listening to people, right? It is a skill which is required for drama also and for language also, because if I'm presenting as a presenter, I would definitely love if my audience are listening properly. Similarly, if a drama is going on, we expect the same skill from students to be a good listener, right? So when we integrate art, what are the strategies? What are the different ways we can integrate art into a language class? So here is a list of a few engagements which can be used to integrate arts into a language classroom. So the first one is storytelling through art. A very important area, right? We do use a lot of stories in language. So we can use storytelling through performing arts, creating visual journals. Let students create the visual journals where they are illustrating their ideas, where they are illustrating their writings and maintaining that visual journal, reflecting on their understanding. Illustrating scenes from literature. We encourage students to read a lot, right? But after reading, can you visualize it? If you visualize, can you illustrate it? Right? So this is also a very important skill. So illustrating scene from literature can also be integrated with visual arts, sketchnoting, comic strips. An excellent example for writing, rather than just writing pages and pages, taking notes pages and pages, you can use sketchnoting. You can use comic strips to share your ideas. Poetry creation and recitation. Students, we love students when they create poetries, right? But how to recite the poem, how to create a poetry. Character posters. Imagine different characters, the visual effects which children give to different characters, the expressions given to different characters, right? They can be expressed through visual arts, they can also be expressed through language arts, right? Then drama script, definitely. Writing scripts for different dramas, narrating those dramas, performing those dramas, cultural music and dance, an authentic integration with dance and music. Any cultural unit can go very well with this. So next slide, I have given some examples from my class where I have integrated the art with the language arts with the support of the art specialist. So if you see, here are some images of role play and storytelling through performing arts. So you can see me playing a role of different characters. You can see my students playing role of different characters. So what happens is role play plays a very important role in language. It helps students to show their creativity, to be public speakers, to express themselves in creative ways. But as a language teacher, when students are performing these role plays in my class, what is the role of the art teacher? Right? What they have learned in the art class. So in these cases, the collaboration can be done in such a way that when the language is focusing on the role plays, the art teacher, the drama teacher can create the background for students where students know the basic skills of facial expressions, body language, improvisation. The teacher should introduce students to the different forms, like different drama forms like role play, puppetry, uh, and like improvisation on the scene, creating scenes, use space management, how to manage the space which is provided. So all these basic skills and the forms of drama should be taught by the art teacher, whereas once these skills are developed, they can be enhanced in the language class by performing. And in these cases, when the collaborative process happens in hand in hand, both the teachers are aware of what is happening in both the classes. So, the same thing which both the teachers are, one teacher is introducing, another teacher is implementing. So it goes very well hand in hand. The same thing goes for the posters. When students are creating posters in the science class or social studies class, they should have the knowledge of the color combinations to be used, how to use those shapes, which color goes very well, how what should be the size of the picture, where should I put the picture. So all these areas, how to be creative in my posters, all these things can be taught by the visual art teacher, and the students can perform, can show their work by creating the posters. Assemblies and unit and celebrations. So these are the samples of comic strips and sketchnoting which I was mentioning. It's a very interesting method of writing, like where you use a lot of sketches and figures. So when students do comics, make comic strips or sketchnoting, the art teachers can teach them the different types of sketches or figures, like stick figures or facial expressions, or few figures which students can uh, use in their language class to create the comic strips and sketchnoting. Assemblies and unit and celebrations are the best ways to collaborate and integrate. So because when it comes to school assembly or class assembly or unit and celebration, along with the academic content, the focus is on academic content plus the performances. So the performing art can help here. It can be integrated very well with these assemblies and the celebrations. Even the unit and celebrations can be considered as assessment for both the art teacher as well as the homeroom teacher. So, when the students are performing, they're celebrating their unit journey. So that time, the art teacher and the homeroom teacher can together assess students, but the art teacher is assessing based on the art criteria, and the homeroom teacher is assessing students based on the knowledge gained during this unit. So through both way, it can be done. Now let's move to mathematics. These are a few combinations which goes quite well with math and arts, like visual art and geometry, music rhythms and patterns, drama and role play with word problems, dance with angles and symmetry, digital art with data interpretation. So these combination goes really well when can be introduced to students in this combination, so that students enjoy the learning. It doesn't become a mundane thing to sit and practice math. Students learn it in a fun way. So again, these are a few engagements which can be used in a math class which integrates art. So shape collage, when students are learning how to make collage in art class, they can use different shapes to create collages. A symmetry painting. So we introduce them to line of symmetry. We introduce them symmetrical shapes. Those can also be used into painting. Rhythm fraction. So students can create rhythms and using fractions. Dance angles. So creating angles using your body and dancing using by creating those angles. Drama word problems cannot always be just reading and solving. Explain the drama, the word problems in a very dramatic way, so the student enjoy that process. They understand it very well. They understand the information and then they apply the solution to find out the answers for the problems. Mosaic fractions, data visualization. When some data is given, visualize it, interpret it, present it. Origami. Students can use origami, different shapes to integrate with math. Building projects. They love building, right? You give them Legos, you give them some material, they would love to build some projects, and you can integrate it with math in measurement. Dramatic math. Make math more dramatic, more expressive. So here are again some samples from my classroom. So in this engagement, you can see in the right hand side the evolution of money. So what happened is students were learning sculpture making in art class, and the unit was planned on money, and we integrated it based on the key concept change. So students were learning sculpture, and here if you see, these are the seals of the Indus Valley civilization which students learned under sculpture making. And we used this as a provocation, and from here we picked up the unit where students, after knowing the seals, how money has evolved over time. So students inquired into what is money. So they started from the barter system, how it used to happen, then what happened, how the money evolved over time, the coins came, the currency, different currencies came, and then the digital currency came. So the entire process started with arts, and it students enjoyed it. They understood the entire process and evolution of money till the digital currency. So if you see, they also inquired into what is digital currency, how it is used. So from past till present, they made excellent connections in this learning. In the other figure, if you see artistic aesthetic cafe, so they learn some craft, creating some craft items in the art class. They use these craft items uh, to create their stations. They sold them out, and they here you can see one cash register also, where they mentioned, they used to log. They had a cash log where they wrote how much rupees I have sold this for and how much rupees I have invested for. So at the end, it helped them to understand the concept of profit and loss. So all these things were creating something, applying the knowledge of learned in art class to get to take their learning to connect with other disciplines, right? Like from creation to application, they have applied here for the math classes. These are a few samples from the class workbooks where we have used anchor charts. We often use it. Students enjoy making different anchor charts to show their understanding of different concepts. You can see the Jamboard, the mosaic fractions uh, using creative ways. And there is the Mr. and Miss Decimal. So they learned how to make human figures in classes. And I wanted to know their prior knowledge on decimals. So I just asked them, how you know? I want to know your prior knowledge. So they let Miss, let's do it through Mr. and Miss Decimal. So they drew the human figures, and so that was just a creative expression of that character for them. But they showed their prior knowledge of, okay, I'm Mr. Decimal, I am shown in the form of a dot, I'm used in the application of money, percentage, I'm used for accuracy. Without me you cannot find accuracy. So these are just some creative ways where students have made the learning of decimal quite interesting. And as we have seen earlier also, the one of the benefit of art is making learning engaging and motivating. So these are some fun way, by using these kind of creativities, by using the artistic expressions, we can bring in some fun into learning, and we can bring in some connections for students to make between different disciplines. Here are again when we were learning patterns and shapes. You can see students have made a pattern mat. They used patterns to as a fashion designer to create some clothing. Then the carpet design. They have used why football ground is symmetrical. Where do you find symmetry in nature? So one student was like, he drew a cake and he wrote, the cake is symmetrical, but the icing of the cake is asymmetrical. So you can, the students, when they do use art in their learning experiences, they also come up with different thoughts and they express it. And when they know this is this, then they try to inquire why it is this way, why it is not this way. So sometimes bringing art into classroom helps them to be more curious. This is the one map, when we were learning about scales and ratios. So students made the map of their area, and they were finding the distance of their houses from their houses to school. So we integrated this, creating map in with the scales and ratios, and using this they were able to find the distance. So speed, distance, and time was integrated through this way. Yes, the next slide. science, using science in an art class, how we can use science in an art class. Visual arts, nature drawings, scientific diagrams, model making, best out of waste. These are some very good connections which we can make of visual arts with science learning. Music, sound and vibration, making musical instruments to create different frequency sound. One of our music teacher, no, art teacher, did this with the second grader, and the entire floor, they all were shaking their instruments and making different sounds and running here and there and sharing it with others. So, sometimes this engagements motivate them so much that even you feel good about it. Dance and movement, life cycle, animal behavior, earth's processes, especially with the younger kids, these dance and movements goes really very well. Drama and role play, just now as I explained, in language, drama and role plays can be used authentically. So again, here are some samples from my class. If you see here, these are the dioramas made by students on adaptation of animals. This is the architecture of a mall. Students have used Legos to build this robot and the architecture. This is a sample of a robot which is made, using best out of waste. And here is a model of brain, which students use the clay to make the brain and show the different parts of brain. So you can see their work here. So, using these models, dioramas, music and dance, we can integrate art and science class also. Now, how to integrate art in social science class? Social science and, when it comes to history, cultural artifacts, historical timeline, as you saw, using those currencies in the math class, right? Music, cultural music, historical songs, dance and movement, traditional dances, historical events, drama and role play, historical reenactment, cultural stories, craft and construction, model building, different historical buildings, architectures, and cultural crafts, digital art, virtual exhibition, infographics, collage, and mixed media. All these forms of art can be integrated with the social science. So, yes, again, I'm providing you with some examples of my class where students have integrated art with the social studies. You can see some chart work done by students. Here is, so in one of the unit, one of the student made the Silk Road. So in this Silk Route, it was shown that, from where it started till where it ends, and what were the major things which were sold in that particular area with some notes. Here are some things which the historical buildings or the construction or the what kind of buildings were used in the previous time. In one of our unit on arts, these are the art pieces recreated by students. These are the famous paintings of the few of the artists which are recreated by students, and we have put them in the display. So during that inquiry, students were inquiring into different types of artists. So the inquiry in the class was going on about the artist, their life stories, what inspired them, what motivated them. And in the art class, the unit was integrated by the art teachers by explaining, by recreating the famous artwork. What are the art style? What were the art styles of the artists which made them famous? So, this way both the subjects were integrated together under the same unit. And also there is a great example of collaboration here. So when we were when we were planning this unit, the art teacher suggested us for the field trip to the art museum. And she also helped us in arranging in finding the artist. She also arranged an interview of students with the artist. And she explained, when you go to the art museum, when you see the art piece, what are the things in the artistic way? What are the things you should consider? What are the things you should see, you should observe? So all the details how to inspect an art piece was suggested by the art teacher and we as homeroom teachers. So the planning was done in collaboration and the execution was done by the art teachers, and then after coming back we took our reflections on in our classes. So in this way, because we co-planned the unit, it was very easy to it was very easy to implement, and it was a great help by the specialist teacher to us that we could go to the field trip, and it was a very great learning experience for students. So this way we can collaborate, we can co-plan, and we can plan integration in our classes. So these were few of the ideas, few of the strategies, few of the techniques which I have used in my class, and which even you can use in your classes to integrate specialist subjects or arts in your classrooms. Along with these integrations, I will also request you to use the visible thinking routines and reflection strategies as much as possible in the art classes also. So these are a few samples of reflection strategies and visible thinking routines, because the visible thinking routines help students to think deep. They help students to think critically. And the reflection always help teachers to understand what the students have learned and what are the areas of improvement. So even if you are a specialist teacher, take reflections, take often reflections, so that you are aware where your students are standing, and use the visible thinking routine to build that habit of thinking critically in your students. And here we reach to the do it together slide. What I will suggest you is use art as a creative expression. Use this process, be a part of this process wherever you get the opportunity. Integrate art, be the part of this integration process, be a part of this collaborative process, and enjoy it with your students. Because if you enjoy this process of collaboration and integration, definitely the product which you will get will be rewarding. So engaging with students, doing it together, helping each other, being there for each other, definitely going to build a strong relationship. And if teachers have that strong relationship, your students will witness that and they will develop the same way. So, yes, Miss, here are the references which I have used for creating the presentation. And yeah, this much from my side. I hope I was able to give you a little bit of, ideas or clarity by sharing what my thoughts are on integrating arts with primary year program.
Absolutely. I think Claudia has something to say.
Yes. Yes, Miss Claudia.
Yes, I'd like to say thank you to Miss Madhi. I think the presentation was wonderful and give us also many ideas for integrating our classroom. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Miss Claudia. Thanks a lot. Anyone would like to share their collaborative process, what they follow in their school, or they want to share what works best for them, or some ideas which even I can learn from you?
Any questions, any suggestions, thoughts? Most welcome for that. I think this also can become a collaborative platform.
Yes,
to take
indeed. It will be a good
ideas.
learning for me also. If you have something, please share with me, or if you have any question, please go ahead.
Could you go back to your references slide if somebody
Yes.
wants to see?
Yes.
I think I quite see multiple applauds and thank yous on the chat box. Ms. Madhavi, I think do not hear any questions, any thoughts right now, but
Hi,
Yes.
ma'am.
Hi, hello.
I'm Sangeeta. I
Hi,
just
Miss
completed
Sangeeta.
my art degree. I've joined school now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the curriculum yet. It's been just a month.
Okay.
And last week they told that we have a collaborative planner.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how to actually collab, because for now I'm not sure about the syllabus as well. Like the curriculum as well. I just started and I'm really new to teaching as well. I completed. I'm 21 years old. Like it is getting hard because the first thing is I have to know how to actually understand students, and they're very small kids. So
Okay.
the first thing is I have to collab with the students as well.
Mhm,
And I should know it's getting difficult, as well as I should make them to do what I actually my end goal.
Mhm.
So for now, they have given for Form 1 who we are. The theme was who we
Yes.
are.
Okay.
And they are like, I don't know how actually to collaborate with the other subjects. Like, can you please help me?
Yes, yes, definitely. Thanks a lot for the question, Ms. Sangeeta. So the thing is, as you said, who we are. So it means your curriculum is primary year program. It's an IB curriculum. And the TD theme, the transdisciplinary theme, which you have to teach is who we are. So for a reference, I would like to suggest you to go through the scope and sequence. Scope and sequence is a most important document in IB. So what you can do it, you can ask your coordinator or anyone if they have the copy of the scope and sequence, or if you have your IB account, you can go or on internet also you can find the scope and sequence. I'll suggest you to read it, because once you read it, you will get a thorough understanding of the expectations of the art teacher. Now, the second thing is you're saying that it's a small age group. Am I right? So you can always integrate from the part of your learning engagements. So if you are sitting in the collaborative process, please try to understand what is the plan of the homeroom teachers. What is the central idea? What are the key concepts they are planning? Is there any key concept or related concept which you can integrate art with that? So and there is the descriptor of the theme. You can also read the descriptor of the theme. You can think of the learner profile attributes or the skills. Which skill, if there is any skill, suppose if there is a social skill, right? And you can choose social skills. So in your art class, you can engage students into some engagements where they are socially engaged. So this way you're focusing on the social skills of students. So how in group setting you can work together and get a productive output. And along with that, whatever plan is done, because you're quite new to the setting, right? I believe hardly 1 month, so you will also need your time to understand the process. But it is always good to go through the plan of the unit, what the HRTs have planned. You can sit with them, you can discuss, you can ask them what is the plan, what is the flow of the unit they have planned, what are the things they have planned in that. And based on that, you can plan some engagement which can go either hand in hand. And if you find it's very difficult to integrate, you can think of the skill. Still, if you're very new, you can plan some standalone engagement for that particular grade level. So suppose if your students are up from grade 2, let's consider. So what is expected from a grade level 2 students, right? Grade 2 students. That way you can plan and then you can discuss with your coordinator and you can go ahead with that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, most welcome.
There's another question from Ambika which says, how can we provide opportunities for students to choose art mediums and topics that they are passionate about?
Yes. So for this question, thank you so much, Ms. Ambika, for the question. Always we talk about the student's voice, choice, and ownership, right? It is always better to, the first thing is give choices to students, what they want to do. And the second thing is, if you find that, you have to encourage students to choose something, then you have to create that motivating environment for students where they're feeling, they're feeling compelled to, oh yes, this is something interesting and I would love to try it. So bring in that curiosity in students where they will love to explore that thing. And another thing is you can always discuss with students. And sometimes it is always better to set up some display, because when students see some display works, they get motivated, right? They, oh, what is this? Oh, how is this made, right? So show some samples, student samples, bring in some, provocations. You can also give them some provocation, which will help them to move towards that particular art form which you want to teach them or they want to learn.
Great. Then there's an idea from Amy who, used the theme of animals in the primary segment and integrated various subjects along with it. And I think she's given an idea which talks about working on a same Google Doc and putting ideas together as a means of collaboration.
Yeah, that's actually a very good practice, where we all can together collaborate and do it.
So Dipali has a question who wants to know more on examples on integrating English with arts.
Yes. So Ms. Dipali, English can be integrated with arts. As I say, right, role plays, storytelling, even when you teach them the reading strategies like visualizing, paraphrasing, summarizing, you can integrate a lot of things with art. You can either use visual art or you can use performing art, and you can integrate English with that. So suppose if, as I told you, right, comic strips or sketch noting or illustrating. So if they are reading a novel or they are reading a story, ask them to create the visual journal for the story, or give them some pictures, give them some artwork and let them explain. So you can integrate writing through that. So there is some scenery given or some artwork given, and tell the students to explain that. Descriptive writing can be integrated that way. Give them one piece, give them one one provocation or one sample, and just show them some artifact and let them describe it in detail. Then you can also use performing art, like as I said, right, listening and speaking is something which we look into English, right, in the two language. So let students use their performing art skills, like how to do the voice modulation, how to use the facial expressions, how to use the body language, how to narrate something. So all these skills can be simultaneously taught by the performing art teacher, and you can use these skills to enhance the learning process in your English class.
Yeah, thank you, Madhvi. Dipali, yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Yes.
We've been doing comic strips and
Yes.
all the initial strategies that you suggested.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
doing
that is
that,
a very
but
nice.
journal, yeah,
Ah,
the journal one, and again, as you suggested, facial expressions, those also come into
right.
art integration. So that was an insight, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Great.
Thanks.
I think languages and arts, be it visual or performing arts, just go hand in hand.
Yes,
Ways of
yes.
communication, maybe you
Yeah.
think of as ways of expression.
Yes, yes.
So,
They definitely they
so
go. It's very difficult. We
quite
can't separate
authentic and
language and art.
easier integrations that we
True,
see
true.
there. Yeah.
So it's like they're inseparable, right? They go hand in hand because if you see, even I was reading through things, and there are some things which are very common in art as well as language. So it goes hand in hand.
Sure, sure. Great. Okay, I think if there are any other questions, any other suggestions, any thoughts that come to the mind of the audience, please feel free to be in touch with us, write to us, and stay connected with us for us to be able to bring in more opportunities like this. There is somebody who's raised their hand but has put it down now. I wasn't able to observe. Anything else from other ends before I, wholeheartedly thank Ms. Madhavi? I really hope that this webinar you have takeaways from this webinar that you are going to use in your classrooms and in co-developing the curriculum, because this is so meaningful and so missing from various systems.
Yes, yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, so I was really, impressed by the strategies and the examples that you've shared, Ms. Madhavi.
Thank
And
you so much,
thanks for
Ms. Rita.
sharing these insights. It's glad for me, I mean, to hear the perspective of a homeroom teacher. It's always, we've had webinars and occasions where the art teachers have come up with their perspective. But getting to know the perspective of a homeroom teachers brings us into a completely different ballgame, where you know what the expectation is and how does the collaboration practices support and help. And I'm sure that these collaboration practices will take newer heights now after this
True,
session
true.
by you.
Thank you so
I
much.
really love the way you defined arts and spoke about the need for integrating arts. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful few minutes that we've had with you. For everyone, the recording of the session will be available to you soon on your registered email IDs and shall also be available on the YouTube for our Journal Foundation. Be in touch and thank you so much.
Thank you
Have a
so much,
great week
everyone.
ahead.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Ruchira.
Thank you.